Hello everybody, I'm the Black Sigma, or you could just call me Eric. Welcome back to Phoenix Wright, Ace Attorney Justice for All. You see, Mr. Phoenix Wright, explain that. Don't forget you said there was no accomplice. Ugh. Tell us exactly how the witness would have carried the bust from the cafeteria. Yep, we definitely have a problem here. This is no place to get perplexed. I've got to get my wits about me and prove how things happened once and for all. Alright, Mr. Wright, let's hear your explanation. How did the witness get the bust from the cafeteria back to his room? Monkey. A monkey? Everyone knows Money. He loves shiny objects of any size. Oh, like when he stole the ventriloquist's ring. So, are you saying the witness had a monkey steal the bust? Of course he didn't order the monkey to steal it. The monkey stole it on his own and brought it back home. Home? Money lives in Acro's room. Acro's room?!
Objection!
But the bust was bronze, wasn't it? Bronze isn't all that shiny. Maybe you should put the whip down sometimes and read the court record. My, those are some very nice cards he's holding. Yes, and they're made of platinum, which is very shiny. Gwa! Acro. Money is a strong monkey, right? It'd be easy for him to bring the bust back to your room. If he wasn't able to handle that himself, I'd be on the market for a new roommate. Order, order! I said order! Ms. Von Karma! Where is the bust in question at this moment? I don't know. We're searching for it as we speak. This is a rather strange turn of events. But let's say that the monkey had not stolen the bust. What would have happened then? Well, in that event, something else would have been used as the murder weapon. Wait. Then you mean this bust was the murder weapon purely by accident? It's possible. Maybe Acro saw Money's mountain of stolen goods and thought to use one of them. Anyway, I think we've more than proven one critical fact. Namely, that it was entirely possible that Acro was the murderer. Moron! Mr. Wright's argument was so circular, I'm still a bit dizzy. However, his argument does hold water. Like, what's a circular thing that holds water? A cup? A glass? A bucket? Oh. Ow! Don't seem so flamboozled. Especially by this fraud of an attorney. Sorry, I couldn't get over my stuttering fit earlier. Fraud. You've forgotten the absolute most important thing, Mr. Phoenix Wright. And what is that? You should know. You forgot that your fraud of a magical client was spotted at the scene of the crime. There's no reason to doubt the clown's testimony. That's true. How do you respond to that, Mr. Wright? Nick, don't let her beat you now. I won't. This is my chance to turn this trial around. When the murder occurred, there were two people at the scene of the crime. One was the victim, Russell Berry, and the other was the murderer himself. Answer this and only this, Mr. Phoenix Wright. Who was the murderer the clown saw? He saw Max's butt. Ow! I asked who was the other person Mo saw on the scene. That evidence has nothing to do with the question. Au contraire, mon frère, it does indeed have something to do with the question. Mo said that he saw Max's silhouette. But he did not actually see the man himself. It wasn't a human being he saw. How is that possible? Simple, really. What Mo actually saw that night was Max's bust. What are you talking about? Have you tried using your brain at all in this case? The silhouette he saw was wearing a cloak. There's no reason why you couldn't attach a cloak to the bust. Would have been easy to hang one off the cards in the bust's hands. Idiot! Who in their right mind would put a cloak on a bust? Doesn't matter who put it on the bust. Just wait a minute now, Mr. Wright. Who put the cloak on the bust? That question is of the utmost importance to this case, don't you agree? He caught me. So let's have it, Mr. Wright. Who put the cloak on the bust? Rather unintentionally, it was the victim. Fool! Him? Are you saying it was the victim himself, Russell Berry? That's what I'm saying. The victim himself placed the cloak on the bust. Placed the cloak isn't really the right way of putting it. Then what would be the right way of putting it, Mr. Wright? Explain yourself! Nick, do you really have a handle on all of this? I'm fine, Maya. I'm finally putting all the pieces together. There's really only one picture I can paint anyways. You know these games are linear, right? Like there's only one version of logic that will get you to a conclusion. Alright. So you want to know what really happened that night? Let's step back in time. Acro used a rope to lower the wooden box onto the scene. Then he attached that rope to the bust and dangled the bust out of his bedroom window, directly above the wooden box. At the same time, the ringmaster told Max to wait in his room and went to the scene. Of course, at the time, the ringmaster was wearing Max's costume. Perhaps he didn't want anyone to recognize him that night. But just as he feared, he was spotted at the entrance of the lodging house by none other than a ventriloquist and his puppet, Ben and Trillo. When the ringmaster arrived at the scene, he bent over to lift the wooden box. That's when Acro took his chance and released the rope. Now, this is when the magic happens. At the very instant that the bust hit the victim, You just wait a second there, Mr. Phoenix Wright. As much as you try, as much as you scheme, this just isn't true. It can't be. Still a little early to be getting so upset, Ms. Von Karma. This circus isn't over yet. What? So, the impact of the bust on the victim threw the cloak up, which snagged onto the bust. The impact also caused the sound a certain witness heard, prompting him to take a look. That witness was, of course, Lawrence Mo Curls the Clown. When Mo looked out his window, the cloak had already snagged onto the bust. Now, having completed the crime, Acro naturally went about pulling up the murder weapon. Of course, he had no idea that Mo saw the bust being raised with the cloak dangling on it. Primarily because, in his wheelchair, he couldn't see out of his window. So he just kept pulling the bust up. And that is how the magical murderer disappearing into the sky came to be. So you see, the only person who could have pulled this off is the one person who was able to drop the murder weapon from above the crime scene. Acro, it could only have been you. Acro's been playing mind games with all of us. He sure has. But he has come to the end of his rope now. So, what now? You've graced us with a rather long-winded tale, but have you any evidence to prove that your fairy tale is true? Evidence? In this court, only two things matter. The power of evidence and the power of my whip. Don't forget the power of my gavel as well. I am the judge after all. Mr. Wright, the prosecution brings up a good point. Can we see some evidence? Nick, they say they want evidence. Just explained how there can only be one possible murder method. There is still something unusual about Mo's eyewitness account. Unusual? A contradiction, actually. Okay then, use that and get us out of this jam. That's enough talking amongst yourselves. Proceed, Mr. Wright. Present some evidence to the court that backs your claims. I want hard proof that you have unraveled the trick to this magic case. Uh-oh. Oh! Here's motive. Motive? Everyone in the room? Motive? Okay, let's not mess this up again. A contradiction in Mo's account. Hard proof. Picture of the crime scene. If it's the hat again, I'm gonna lose it. 'Cause the hat clearly also fell off when the ringmaster was hit. Sure, we'll go with that. Oh, come on! The problem is Max's 3 symbols. You know, the hat, the cloak, the white roses? Those symbols were a problem numerous times during yesterday's proceedings. Yesterday, there were 2 contradictions in Mo's testimony. The silk hat was one, the white roses were the other. But the theory I just presented explains all of those contradictions. You fool, do you ever shut up? Max's silk hat was found at the scene of the crime. However, remember what Mo said yesterday? He testified that the criminal he saw fleeing the scene was wearing a silk hat. There's only one explanation for that. The silk hat that Mo saw was actually the busts. Makes sense. If you look at it that way, then he did see the silk hat. Well, sort of. Fine, you've got one. What about the other contradiction? The other contradiction? Remember what that ventriloquist said in court? He said that he witnessed white roses on Max's chest that night, but the clown's testimony doesn't match. The clown said there were no white roses. I'd like to see you try and explain that one away. Can you do it, Nick? Of course. I can explain all of it. What was that? Please recall the instant when the cloak snagged onto the bust. If the cloak snagged onto the bust, what happened to the white roses? They would have been on the other side of the cards. Do you get it yet? That. Or the back of the bust, generally facing the other direction. Which explains why Mo didn't see them. The white roses were not visible because they were on the back side of the bust. Order! Order! This is quite the shocking state of affairs. Mr. Wright's theory still sounds a bit absurd to me. However, let's just keep going down this road for a while and see where it leads. Let's do this, Nick. Then maybe Von Karma will finally throw in the towel. Well, so much for that theory. Mr. Wright, do you mind? What is it? You took the time to research our circus, didn't you? Well, yes, I did. Is there something making you think that I didn't? If you did, then maybe you'll understand why I think you're off track. Why is that? Motive. The witness feels an incredible debt of gratitude toward the ringmaster. Anyone with any relation to the circus is well aware of this. Thus, there is absolutely no way someone like this would kill the ringmaster. Such a shame for you I solved this already, Von Karma. Your Honor, I'd like you to hear Acro's story, learn about his relationship with the ringmaster and his life up until now. What do we do? There's no doubting that he deeply respected the ringmaster. Motive, huh? Seems that this case isn't over yet. Very well. However, I feel it's a good place to take a break. I will listen to the rest of his testimony after a recess. This court will now take a 10-minute recess. I can't believe it! Acro? It's pretty shocking, isn't it? It definitely is! And to think he was always the most straightforward of the group. Jeebus, am I that hated? Acro tried to pin the murder on you on purpose. He did? Psst, psst. But I'm nothing but a little old nobody, you know? But you're not, which is kind of the reason why... Hey, pal! It was me doing all that coughing. You're gonna ignore me after I went to all this trouble to bring you some evidence? Ah, Detective Gumshoe. Forget it, I'm going home. This guy deserves to be guilty anyways. Now, Detective. I'm sorry. Look, why don't you relax a little? We've got some really tasty milk. How about a card trick, Detective? Well, if you insist. Now about that evidence you mentioned, what is it? Here you go. Huh? This was yesterday in Acro's room. Yep, and I've included the forensic results. Take a look at it later. Won't Miss Von Karma be mad you're doing this? That's why this is all a secret. Huh? Look, details are on a need-to-know basis, and we're not really allies or anything. But everything that's happened in court up until now has gone according to our plan. I don't know, Ms. Von Karma didn't seem in control of things in there just now. You'll figure it out eventually, pal. Yesterday, our final plans were set into motion. Final plans? Uh-huh. That reminds me. I got a message from the prosecutor for you. Nothing is ever truly decided until the very end. That's it. That's it for me too, pal. I'm out of here. What did he mean by that? The very end part? I'm not sure. It was all pretty cryptic to me. Oh, one more thing. Oh, don't scare me like that. Looks like there's a large care package from the circus for the defendant. What? For me? It's milk. The reception area looks like some kind of dairy. So hurry up and drink it all before it spoils. An entire dairy's worth of milk? For me? Ah, brother. Okay. Court is now back in session. Ms. Von Karma, please continue from where you left off. I'd like to continue with Acro's testimony, starting with his relationship to the victim. I'd also like to get proof from the defense. Proof of what kind of motive Acro would have to commit this crime. Understood. Now, Mr. Dingling. Yes, Your Honor. Please proceed with your testimony. Finally, we get to the motive. Wait, Nick, are you okay? Just do me a favor and don't ask questions you don't want the answer to. So... when we were little, we were abandoned by our parents. That's when the ringmaster of the Berry Big Circus, Russell Berry, took us in. I became an acrobat around 9 years old. Wanted to find a way to repay the ringmaster. That was the sole purpose in my life. You're such a thoughtful young man. As you heard, the witness deeply respected the victim. Wonder how anyone could think that Acro would kill a man he held in such esteem. You're right. Which is why there's no real need for... Actually, it's a question I'm trying to answer myself. Why would he? Might be my last chance to do so. Of course I'll cross-examine. The defense has a right. You're so tactless, Mr. Phoenix Wright. You don't care about justice, do you? You just want to fabricate a motive. Very well, Mr. Wright, you may cross-examine the witness. Hey, so in multiple of your statements here, you've mentioned, plural, that the ringmaster took us in, and we were little. The court is unaware, but you have a brother, correct? Yes, my brother Sean and I. What, you have a brother? How old were you? I was 8 and my brother was 4. Your parents were very cruel, weren't they? Hang on, let me just double check their ages. 26, 22. 4 years apart. Checks out. Nowadays, we aren't bitter about what happened to us, because it allowed us to meet the wonderful people at the Berry Big Circus. Judge is getting misty-eyed, no crying in court, let's keep going. That's when the ringmaster took you in. How would you describe your relationship with him? It was like an uncle, a father, and big brother rolled into one. Ringmaster and his brother was the only family he had. Other people didn't really care, but the ringmaster would see them with a laugh and a smile. Yep. How long has he been a performer? Acrobat around 9 years old. Wanted to find a way to repay him. There is no contradiction in these statements. Do I have to press all of them, or just loop through them a couple of times? I have to press all of them. Started off as an acrobat that young. He's been in incredible shape since then, decided to form a group with his brothers. The Flying Dinglingberries. Even heard of them in Germany. Liar. Point is, he wanted to be one of the best in circus. Hooray! And final statement to press, and don't accidentally skip it like an idiot. Did you ever have any trouble with him? How could you ask such a thing? Ow, 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 ow. No way I could see the witness taking the victim's life. Exactly. I've been waiting for you to say that, Your Honor. Nick, I hate to say it, but I agree with them. I was trying to chase down the truth, but I ended up just looking like a jerk. I think that will be enough for now. Pondering whether or not this man would kill the ringmaster leads me to believe that it is pretty unlikely. Exactly right, Your Honor. Mr. Wright, I'd like to ask you a question. Go ahead, Your Honor. I would just like to know, can you provide an explanation as to why Acro would want the ringmaster dead? I can't, Your Honor. Nick? Yeah, didn't even have to think about it. It was obvious from the start. Your Honor, the reason that Acro killed the ringmaster is something that can't be proven. What? That's because Acro had no reason to kill the ringmaster at all. Ow! Your foolish attempts to fool us like foolish fools is so foolhardily foolish. Did you forget? You made an accusation against this witness, did you not? I believe it was, this is the real killer of Russellberry, ringmaster. If you want to jump to the end of things, then yeah, that sounds about right. The end of things? Acro. You didn't plan to kill the ringmaster at all, did you? The ringmaster wasn't your target that night. What did you say? I'm saying that the target of this witness's murderous plot was not the ringmaster. Because it was never his intention to kill Russellberry to begin with. What? Order, order. Bailiff, I don't care who it is. Smack anyone who's loud in the face. Twice, if you must. Mr. Wright, what in the world are you trying to do to my court? Ow! Mr. Phoenix Wright, what in the world are you trying to do to his court? Are you attempting to imply that Acro was trying to kill someone else? In fact, I am. Take that! Regina Berry? This young girl is the ringmaster's daughter, correct? Acro, you were really aiming for her that night, weren't you? Objection! You don't need to answer that. It's a mean-spirited leading question. Which, if you must answer it, but please don't, do so in the next episode. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.